Hey, what's up, YouTube? It is Melanie back with Melanie Loves Death Metal. Got a new collection update today. This is like part 2 of a massive haul that I got last week and this week. Most of it came in on Monday, so it was a really good mail day on Monday. So 2 tapes, 4 CDs, and 1 vinyl to go through today. So back there's a huge stack of CDs I'm sure you can see. And there's some tapes that are stacked on top. Those are all the ones that I still haven't gotten through. So these collection updates are probably going to be coming pretty frequently the next week or two. I'll try to do 2 a week until I get through all this stack. So, all right, let's get started with the first tape. I actually got 2 tapes from Sewer Rot Records. These both were released on Bandcamp Friday a couple months ago. I don't remember exactly what month it was. It might have been April. It might have been April. So they both came this week. It's been stuff I've been waiting for a while for. Both really good albums and 2 of my favorite EPs that have come out this year so far. So I talked about them in my favorite EPs to come out this year so far. So I finally have the physicals now, so I figured I'll show them off. So the first one is by the band named Dowrr, I believe is how you say their name. This is their EP, Into Decrepitude. I know I was going to say that wrong. Really, really good death metal band out of LA. This is their first ever EP that they dropped. Before that was just a single. Really cool, like smoky gray tape. And then I think I absolutely love the artwork on this J card. It's so cool. I love their logo and just how the red and the green and all that goes in here. So in regards to the music, it's death metal. Obviously it's got that old school death metal sound as always. That's typically what I love, but there's also a lot of doom elements to this as well. So it's not just the typical like old school sounding death metal. There's definitely that doomy elements to it. It's slower chugs, deep growls, but yeah, it's really good. I've listened to this several times, and just to note for anybody watching this, I typically don't buy things that I haven't heard before. It's very rare that I'll pre-order something and I don't get to hear something from it. I rarely do that. So that's a big reason why I miss out on presses, is because I take my time sometimes, and with ordering things, I very rarely quickly jump on a pre-order unless it's a band that I'm really familiar with. I know their music, I know I'm going to enjoy it. But in terms of the new death metal scene, I listened to this before I bought it, and so a lot of the times, especially with Bandcamp releases, if it's a drop that comes out like at midnight, I typically don't wait up for it unless, like I said, it's something that I'm really familiar with. It's a band that I absolutely love or anything like that. So for instances like this, for brand new death metal bands that I'm not familiar with, they don't have a whole lot of stuff out. Like for instance, this band, this is their first EP. I generally don't jump on these things right away and buy them unless I've heard the music or I've been in talks with them. So since I've joined Instagram and turned it into a music account, there are a couple bands that have reached out to me, and I've heard their music before being released and it's whatever else, like in those situations. So just to let you guys know, like my thought process on when I buy music. So for this instance, I heard 2 songs. I think, I can't remember if the 2 songs were released the day this was dropped as a pre-order, and I really liked it. There's only 4 songs on this, so that was right there half the EP. So I got it. But for the most part, I typically don't buy things unless I hear it. Like I said, it's a very rare occasion that I pre-order something that I have not heard anything from. One exception to that rule is that I recently did, but it ended up being okay and ended up being a good buy, was the new Grave Miasma that's coming out on Dark Descent. Actually, it's on its way to me right now. They dropped that pre-order and there was not a single track on Bandcamp or anything. But I had known the band and I liked their previous release, and so I did a blind buy with that. And that ended up being good because I've heard music now from it and I'm glad that I got it. So anyway, I'm blabbing. I just figured I'd go through that. So that was Dowrr. Really, really good. I think these might be sold out, but digital release is still there, so definitely check them out. Really good band. Excited for new stuff to come out from them. Definitely, I think they're going to make some solid music for the next couple of years, for sure. Hopefully they will. I mean, I'm hoping a lot of these bands that I'm buying and support continue to make music because, again, I don't buy things if I don't like it. Like, what's the point in that? So the next one that I got from Sewer Rot that dropped that same day is the band called Cryptum. This band is from actually Joliet, Illinois, so that's around the area that I was born and raised and lived for most of my life. So right outside, about 30 minutes from outside where I used to live. And this is called Enter the Kryptum. So I would say in terms of aesthetics, this is really cool. I really like the artwork on this tape, and I love the green and yellow. Really nice black pro printed tape. And again, another band that I didn't know even existed, had never even heard of them until I saw Sewer Rot was going to drop this. Did a little bit of research before this, and again, this is the only thing that they have released, so I had never heard them. And this is also a really, really good EP. So definitely check this out. I mean, this is just old school death metal. It's heavy as hell. It's really good. It's like they're a full-blown band. The Dowrr is a 3-piece, by the way. And yeah, just the J card on this. These two releases are so cool. The artwork on this, it just looks good. The layout's really nice. And I'm sure it probably says who did all this in here. Some of the thank yous in here are funny too. Like this one, they thanked Cuddy Shark. But yeah, so yeah, these are both really good. I'm excited I finally got them. Again, this has been one of the two of my favorite EPs to come out. One special note about this one is that Aaron from Granulated and then Molder actually recorded this with Kryptum. So again, that Chicago area love going into this. So yeah, really good. Check this out. And I hope these guys continue to make music. So again, Sewer Rot Records, they've been pumping out really good releases this year. That 4-way split is coming next week, so definitely check that out. I'm gonna probably plug that in every video until it gets released. All right, so that's it for the tapes. Next up is CDs. So Dark Descent had a 25% off sale go on like last week or last weekend or something. And I went ham. I ordered a bunch of stuff. Because the prices were just too good. You could not compete. Like some of this stuff I only got for like $4 bucks. Like it was pretty intense. So one of these CDs is from that buy, and this is the Time Ghoul discography. So Time Ghoul, does anybody need an explanation of who this is? Really cool double disc, nice space themed artwork. Yeah, that's upside down, sorry. Time Ghoul, death metal band, sci-fi, fiction, space-themed death metal band. Split up a long time ago. This is their whole entire discography. It has their demos and live recordings and rehearsals and stuff like that. And a concert from Missouri. So it's pretty much everything that they've ever put out on one disc. And I think this was pressed on vinyl too, but I picked up the CD because, like I said, it was only like $4 when I got it. So Time Ghoul, really, really good band. That's a band that I admittedly didn't really know existed until last year. So unfortunately, I'm not always gonna, say that I'm like an expert on things, or that I've always known about that band. Like, no, I'll be honest and just say I didn't always know about this band. I started to see the shirts around on people's like Instagram. I was like, like, what is that band? And so I finally looked into it, and yeah, I'm probably late to the party, but yeah, this is really good stuff, really dirty sounding death metal, that spacey theme, some stuff from that I hear from Blood Incantation. I can kind of hear some references to Time Ghoul, because obviously this band was out a lot earlier than them. They came out in like the 90s, like the early 90s. So good stuff. I'm glad I picked that up. I've actually been listening to that quite a bit since I've gotten it this week on Monday. Another thing that I got from Dark Descent is another band that I admittedly had no idea who they were until Spotify randomly started playing a song after one of my albums was finished. So it like went off of my previous playlist and it's like, hey, you might like this. And this is Lantern. This is their newest release that came out last year called Dimensions. Yeah, Dimensions. Just a plain CD, nothing crazy. Yeah, I mean, this is like blackened death metal. There's definitely some black metal elements in here. I probably hear that a little bit more just in terms of like the vocal styles, but it's definitely death metal. So I think this is really good. I have never heard any of their other albums. This is their third full length, I believe, and there's a couple of demos and EPs that they've released since then. They've been around. since 2007-ish, something like that. They're from Finland, I should say. They're a Finnish band. But yeah, it's good. Like I said, I haven't heard any of their other stuff. I don't know if there's any cool artwork in here. I don't think there is. I think it's just lyrics. Haven't heard any of their other stuff, but I heard this on Spotify. I listened to it. I liked it. I saw it was like $4 on that sale, so I copped it. Good stuff. Yeah, if anybody else is familiar with Lantern, I'm sure you are. I've seen their name around there for a while. All right, so moving on to another package. So there is a shop up in the northeast of the U.S. I think they're in Rhode Island. I don't remember. They're called Armageddon Shop. They have a huge Discog store of like 20,000 plus things for sale. Huge death metal section. So I went on there to look and see if I could find this specific CD. So I'm on the hunt for all of Caldecapitation albums on CD. Just because a lot of their stuff was pressed on vinyl once and it's hard to find. It's super expensive. I just want their whole discography because they're one of my favorite bands. And there's a lot of motorcycle going by. Sorry about that. Anyway, so they had this for like $9. It's brand new, surprisingly, never played. Yeah, I was shocked because I know this can be a little bit hard to find, and this is To Serve Man. So yeah, if you're familiar with Caldecapitation, like I think this is their third full length. Probably one of my favorite albums by them. Yeah, probably one of my favorite albums. I definitely listened to this quite a bit digitally. I didn't start collecting anything like on physical format until about 10-11 years ago. So again, always listened to things digitally when like the digital realm came around. But now that I'm collecting physical editions, I'm trying to collect my favorite bands' discographies right now, and I chose CDs because it's the easy route to go. So like I said, when there's bands that haven't pressed things on vinyl for a while, it's just too expensive to try and get all that stuff. So the CD was an easy route. So I was able to find this. I was happy about it. I think they probably used to have this on Amazon, but the price just seemed like kind of a ripoff. So yeah, got that on their shop. I got a couple other things from them, but I'll save it for another video. The final CD is I got from Severed Records, but this is a Morbid Chapel Records release. A band that I've talked about here several times, but they released this compilation of both of their demos a couple of months ago, and I kind of slept on it. I didn't have a CD player at the time, and I just was listening to it digitally, and then finally I was like, you know what, I want to get this, and then I go, and it's sold out, and Morbid Chapel is overseas, and the shipping was incredibly expensive, so I actually just messaged the band and was like, hey guys, like, is there a US distro that still has this CD? And they're like, yeah, I tried Severed Records, which, wow, that site is insane. There's a lot of stuff on Severed Records. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Severed Records. It was the first time I'd ever even heard of them. A lot of brutal death metal, a lot of slam metal, just tons of stuff. And I found some stuff on there that I didn't think I would ever be able to find. So very, very cool site. And this was on there. So this is Fumes with their compilation Assemblage of Disgust, and it has both of their demos. Unfortunately, my jewel case came a little messed up from the post office, but whatever. So Fumes is a band that I've talked about several times on here. They came out with a split with Thorn. Daniel from this band is also in Internal Infestation. Grotesque Mass, I believe, is the other band that he's in. He just does everything. The guy's a machine. Yeah, so this is really good. You know, doomy death metal, just heavy, dark. Yeah, it's really good. So I was really glad that I got this. Thank you guys again for helping me find this. I don't know if there's any other place. I'm pretty sure I might have bought the last copy on Severed Records, but I know that Morbid Chapel might still have some of these. So if you're overseas, you probably either already have this or already knew that. But again, really good. If you have not checked out Fumes yet, definitely do that. I know I've plugged them on here quite a few times. And like I said, Daniel's just in everything. All right, so that's enough for that. And then I have one vinyl, and I have a pretty cool story about this. So this vinyl, I admittedly slept on last year. I really liked the album. Again, like I said, I'm one of those people that tends to try and listen to the album before I buy it. And this came out, and I remember when the pre-orders went up and everything. Like, I remember, and I was like, oh, that looks cool. I listened to it, and I loved it. And unfortunately, I listened to it too late because it sold out so fast. And they haven't repressed it yet that I know of. And I've been waiting, and no joke, like, put, like, alarm bells on their Instagram, on Profound Lore's Instagram, just to see if they were ever going to repress this album. The colored versions are going for like $60, $70 on Discogs. Like, it's been hard to find. So finally, one day on my Instagram, I utilized my platform and I put it in my story, hey, does anybody know where I can find this vinyl? Or do you have one for sale that you would like to get rid of? And I got really lucky. Somebody sent me a message and said, hey, no joke, like no joke, somebody just put this for sale on Discogs like today, and it's only $20. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So I went over there, and sure enough, there's the posting. The guy has 100% feedback. He's sold like 50 items on here, so it was legit. And I was like, and I bought it, like, and got it. So I got super lucky. So thank you. Apologies, I don't remember who it was that sent me the message on Instagram. I'll probably just read your name off wrong anyway, because Instagram names are always different than what your actual name is. But yeah, and that is Warp Chambers, released from last year. This is called Implements of Excruciation. Jesus, I can't read. Yeah, so this is death metal, really just dirty death metal, I guess is the best way I can explain it. Sorry, I forgot to unsleeve this. I know some of you hate the sleeving on the... So it's just plain black vinyl. There was a colored release that's incredible looking, but I was happy enough to just get the black vinyl because, like I said, this has been really hard to find, and it's just not anywhere, except for on Discogs for an insane price. So the artwork on this album is phenomenal. I love it. It's just all black and white. It's got that, my favorite kind of style of like death metal albums that so many artists do nowadays, and it's a really, really good album. So like I said, I was really happy I was able to find this. Like I said, that artwork is so good. Yeah, just out on Profound Lore, and they haven't, as far as I know, they haven't repressed this. Here's the inner sheet lyrics, and then some more nice artwork. Does it say who does the artwork on here? Yes, by artwork and layout by David Weller. I think that's what it says. It's kind of in like a weird script, so it's kind of hard to read. If you want to pause it right there. Yeah, so yeah, this album's really good. And yeah, it was one of my favorites from last year. I had a lot of favorite albums last year. A lot of good music came out last year. I was really happy that I was able to get this. Like I said, it's just plain black vinyl. Stickers are that one, and then the cool image on the other side has this really nice like anti-static sleeve, which I feel like the seller might have added this in here, which was a nice touch, because Profound Lore usually comes with those paper sleeves. So yeah, great album. If you have not heard this yet, definitely check it out. I feel like this is one of the more underrated albums, because the ones that people didn't talk about as much last year, because again, there was just a lot of good music that came out. But this was one of the ones that I remember that really stood out to me in terms of being really good. Yeah, I mean, just a lot of my friends obviously love this album, and I saw this album going around a lot last year, so I kind of wish I had jumped on it, but hey, I waited patiently, and I finally got it. So if they do decide to repress these on cool colors, I'll probably just buy one, because, you know, whatever. I like to do that sometimes, and then I'll probably end up selling this one. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, babbling again. That's my collection update today. Like I said, there will probably be a couple more next week, and then probably the following week. As always, tomorrow is what I'm listening to. I'm probably going to film that today, because I don't know if I'll be able to film it tomorrow. But yeah, that's all that I have. Thank you guys again so much for all the support. I greatly appreciate it. And just one favor that I'm asking you is to just let me know what you've been listening to. Let me know if you've heard any of these things. If you like anything is new. I always enjoy hearing those stories. And as always, I will link everything and support the underground. Thanks, guys.